All right, let's go. Namaste everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to have all of you this Sunday. As you know, my name is Ashutosh, and we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific time, which is time on the west coast of the US, and we learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hindi University. And for those of you who are interested in joining our free sessions that we have every Sunday, you can find out all the details on this page, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. Okay, you'll find all the prior lectures on the YouTube channel as well as on tiny.cc. You'll find details about the Zoom link we use for both the classes as well as the regular practice sessions, and also the books we've been following. Okay, this year we're following two books. One is Pingu Learns Hindi, which is a book for complete beginners, and the second book we are following is Advanced Hindi Grammar by Professor Usha Jain. So you have a link of both the books on this tiny.cc link as well. Okay. Lately we've been going over so this topic adverb that we have been using. It's covered in both the books, Pingu Learns Hindi as well as Advanced Hindi Grammar. And on Advanced Hindi Grammar is chapter number 8. And the last two classes we covered Hindi adverbs, and this year or this class also. Our goal is to continue to build on top of it, continue to build on top of the adverb topic. So in today's class, I'm going to just quickly erase it. The goal is to cover a few things. Okay, my goal is to, like in the previous classes, we spoke about what are adverbs, what are different kind of adverbs. Okay, how do you place them and where do you place them in a given Hindi sentence? In this class, our goal is to cover two things. How do you form the adverbs? Do you have to memorize all of them, or do you have to use other parts of speech to form the adverbs? So this is number one topic that we'll be covering. And once we're done with that, we will continue to do Hindi listening practice. So if you guys recall, we are building a story, and I'm trying to write down as many sentences as possible related to the topic that we're covering in that class. Okay, so in today's class, when you hear the listening part, you will hear a lot of adverbs in that story. And the story, I don't want you to check it out right now because the idea is listening, but you can find the link of the story in the tiny.cc/Hindi University link. Okay, so we'll continue to do that part as well. So with that in mind, let's get started. I think some of you asked about the WhatsApp link. One of the student can post the link to you. So if anyone is in front of the machine, you can share the WhatsApp link with Jane. Okay, so let's get started. Who can tell me or revise the adverbs for the class? Anyone is ready to give a quick brush up of what are adverbs? High level is fine. Anyone? Let's see, Susan ji, you want to unmute yourself? Tell us about adverbs. What are adverbs? Very high level is fine.
Gee. Adverbs are words that help the verb, a helping word.
Very good.
You want me to give examples?
Yes, that'll be good. Yep.
Adverbs. Sundar. Yeah.
Yes.
Khatin. Shikil. What exactly is it you're looking at? I seem lost right now.
No worries at all, because I asked you a question on the spot, right?
Okay.
So it can be hard, right? So
yeah.
So adverbs, as you said, they are parts of speech which help modify other parts of speech, such as nouns, adjectives, and sometimes adverbs itself. Okay, so to brush up for everyone, and then thank you so much, Susan ji. So let's say if I were to ask you a noun, let's say what is a boy in Hindi? How do you say a boy in Hindi? Boy is
Ladka.
very good, ladka, right? Ladka. Now, if you want to describe the quality of a boy, then you will use an adjective. How will you say good in Hindi?
Acha.
Very good.
Ladka.
And if you want to say a good boy, would be, as some of you said, acha ladka. You have a noun and you have a noun and an adjective. Okay. Now you want to describe the extent or the quantity. How good is the boy? And let's say you want to say a very good boy. You will end up using an adjective. Okay, and what is that adjective doing? It's modifying or describing good here. Okay,
That's an adverb, right? Not an adjective.
that is right.
Very.
That's right. In this case, very can be both, but in this case, very is used as an adverb. Okay, and what is very here in this case? When you have a good boy, ladka. When you have good boy, acha ladka. But when you have a very yes,
बहुत अच्छा लड़का.
very good. Right. So you have a bahut acha ladka. Okay. So you basically describe the quantity in a way. Okay, and that's what adverbs do. Okay, we spoke about the adverbs help you answer the how, the what, and where and how often type of questions. Okay, how did you do certain work? You can say with difficulty, or with smilingly or happily. Like all of those are describing how you did certain task. Okay, it helps you describe the where of a certain situation, like close by or far or in front or behind. Okay, similarly it helps you answer the when questions, like today, yesterday, like in 5 years. Okay, so all of those are basically helping you learn how to use adverbs. Okay, we also learned about that most of the adverbs, they end with ly. Okay, such as like beautifully, carefully. Okay, they're ending with ly, most of them. Okay, so I hope this gives you a quick refresher of the Hindi adverbs. Now we will learn about how to form them. Like some adverbs are basically you can call them the main adverbs. Like you have to memorize them. There's no other alternative to that, right? So there are two ways to derive. Two ways. One is the main adverbs. So if I were to ask you, like some of the examples are approximately, ending with ly. Okay, what is the Hindi of approximately? Anyone? How do you say approximately in Hindi?
Takriban.
Takriban. Okay.
Lagbhag.
Very good. Lagbhag. Okay, so I'm gonna write it in Devanagari also. You have a l with g, bh with g, lagbhag, ending with ly. Now it's not really derived from someone, some other parts of speech, right? You're not taking help of it, so you have to just memorize it as it is. Approximately, lagbhag. Similarly, immediately. Anyone? How do you say immediately in Hindi? Huh? Turant. Very good. Turant. I read it as Turant, not Turant. So t with u, r, half na, and Turant. Okay. Again, ending with ly, but you have to either memorize the word or you have to use the formula to find out the meaning of it. Okay, so these are the category of adverbs where you have to memorize them. Okay, these are the main adverbs. There are other adverbs which are basically, there are some patterns that you can use. Patterns are used to derive them, and they are derived from sometimes from the abstract nouns, sometimes from the adjectives, okay, or sometimes from other parts of speech. Okay, so even though, so you will see them that they're ending with ly, but you will end up using other parts of speech. What are the examples? Such as like difficulty, right? Difficult, right? So difficulty is one of them. Okay, similarly, like you have happily, ending with ly, but how do you say happily?
खुशी से.
Very good, khushi se. So you used the abstract noun and you added a postposition next to it, say. Similarly, difficulty, you will say mushkil se. Mushkil se. Mushkil is an abstract noun. You added say postposition to it and you made an adverb out of it. Okay, so there are many other patterns. So in this class we'll be learning 4 such patterns to learn about how do you derive those adverbs. I mean, there are many more adverbs. I looked into it, but I want you to learn at least these 4. The others you will learn over time, but at least if you have to prioritize, how to focus or where to focus, I want you to focus on at least these 4 patterns and learn about how to derive them. Okay, any questions so far? So far we've only covered a high level definition and the categories of adverbs, but it's open, it's open forum, so feel free to ask any questions you may have. Okay, no question, then I'm going to continue. Okay, I hope it is making sense right now. So we'll learn about pattern number 1 now. So pattern number 1 is basically when you have how do you form the adverb. You take the abstract noun, and you put postposition say next to it. And when you do that, it describes the manner in which certain things are done. Okay, we've covered it in the previous classes, but this class is really putting it into a framework, okay, about how do you make sense of them. Okay, so we already covered difficulty, which is like mushkil se. Okay, we learned about happily, which is khushi se. The other examples that I want to give you is carefully or cautiously. How do you say that? Carefully or cautiously?
ध्यान से.
Dhyan se. Okay, so you have a dhyan, an abstract noun with say. There's another one which is cautiously.
सावधानी से.
Very good. Saudhani se. Saudhani se. You took the abstract noun and you put say next to it. Okay, I'm going to write down all the examples first, and then we'll try to form some sentences. Okay, some of it is memorization, some of it is like recognizing that there is a postposition say next to it. Okay, then we'll have quickly.
फटाफट.
Okay, fatafat is, if you want to use fatafat, then you will put into category number 1, that you have to know it. Whereas if you have jaldi se, it is derived from the abstract noun, jaldi se. Okay, and both of them are correct. Then you have forcefully. Forcefully, I think we have some. What is forcefully?
जोर से
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, so forcefully is zor se. Good job. Zor se. Okay, I'll do a couple of more. Lovingly.
Ashu Ji,
Yes,
जोर से is also loudly.
that's correct. It's also loudly. Loudly.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Lovingly.
Is
Anyone?
pyar se?
Very good. Pyar
Is
se.
it pyar se?
Pyar se. Okay, pyar se. This one is important. It's going to come up in the listening exercise today. Okay, to give you a quick hit. Okay, and then proudly.
गर्व से
Girl say. Awesome. Girl say. Okay, so all of them you can see that an abstract noun is there, and after that we use a postposition say to derive the adverb. Okay, let's do some basic sentences. Okay, who wants to go first? Who wants to make a very simple sentence? Don't go longer. Don't make longer sentences. Like a simple sentence. Start very simple and then try to fit adverb within that. One of these adverbs, either cautiously, jaldi se, zor se, pyar se, or garv se. You can write it down. I mean, if I can open it up, everybody can participate. And the question really is like, try to make at least one sentence using one of these adverbs. And you can post it on the Zoom chat, or you can post it in the WhatsApp chat. Not WhatsApp, sorry, the Facebook chat. You can post, in both the areas. Okay.
Ashu Ji,
Yeah.
how about mujhe सावधानी से चलना है.
Very good, right? So start with very, very basic. Like, let's say you were not using adverb and with adverb, so you can see the contrast.
What do you mean? Sorry.
So try to use the same sentence without adverb and with adverb, so you can see the difference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, mujhe chalna hai.
Okay, mujhe chalna hai is
I have to walk.
I have to walk.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But in my case, क्योंकि मैं बुढ़िया हूँ,
Uh-huh.
मैं सावधानी से चलना है.
Okay, very good, right? So you see that, like, she gave two contrasts, like, to give an example to someone, आपको चलना चाहिए, you should walk, versus you should walk carefully, like, आपको सावधानी से चलना चाहिए. Great example. Anyone else? Go for it.
Can I try?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the normal sentence would be वह हिंदी बोलता है, which is he speaks Hindi,
Uh-huh.
and then वह हिंदी मुश्किल से बोलता है.
Very good. Okay. वह मुश्किल से, और वह हिंदी मुश्किल से बोलता है. Okay. And what does it mean?
Speaks Hindi with difficulty.
He speaks Hindi with difficulty. Awesome. Great example. Anyone else?
That's me.
आप बहुत अच्छे से हिंदी बोलती है. Okay. Anyone else?
May I try?
Yeah, please.
So the regular sentence is मैं सड़क पर दौड़ती हूँ.
let me repeat it so that everyone can hear it. मैं सड़क पर दौड़ती हूँ, which is I
run I run on the street.
Okay, I run on the street. मैं सड़क पे दौड़ती हूँ. Okay, awesome.
So I want to say I run quickly on the street.
Uh-huh.
मैं सड़क पर जल्दी से Doti home.
Okay, awesome. And what does it mean?
I run quickly on the street.
Okay, awesome. Okay, awesome. Anyone else?
Ashu Ji,
Yep.
I want to try one, but I'm not sure how to say kicked.
Okay, go for
But
it.
I'll use kicked, right?
Yeah.
So, लड़के ने गेंद kicked किया.
Okay, okay.
Will that work? Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, so लड़के ने
So
गेंद
you
kick
point-
किया. Okay, now you want to put, adverb in it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, लड़के ने जोर से गेंद kick किया.
Very good. Awesome. Okay. So what else basically to kick is लात मारना. But sometimes you may not remember like that it is लात मारना. So what the good thing that Susan ji did was she used just like homework karna. Like homework is an English word. To do homework is homework karna. Just like that, she used the English word kick and she used it as a verb kick karna. Okay. So मैंने बॉल को किक किया. Okay. और मैंने so that's what she said, like उसने जोर से बॉल किक किया. Okay. Anyone else?
आशु जी,
Yeah.
ये सवाल मुश्किल है।
ये सवाल मुश्किल है. Okay.
मुश्किल है।
Okay.
और ये सवाल बहुत मुश्किल से हल कर पाऊंगी।
Okay. Okay. Say that. What does it mean?
This question is difficult,
Okay.
and I can solve this question with difficulty.
I can solve this question. Yeah. यह मुश्किल से solve कर पाऊंगी. Okay. Anyone wants to use this one? Lovingly and गर्व से.
Yes,
Yeah.
that प्यार से. मैंने उनकी मदद पूछी. मैंने प्यार से उनकी मदद पूछी.
Okay. So what does it mean?
I ask his help and I lovingly ask his help.
Okay. Okay. So I lovingly took his help or asked for his.
Yes, ask for him to help me. Means
Okay.
that
I
what
lovingly
want.
asked would be, if I can just slightly rephrase it, I asked would be just I asked.
मैंने पूछती.
Very good. So because it's past, to ask is पूछना, right? And
Yes.
because it's in the past, you would say मैंने
प्यार से पूछती.
Okay, one more time. So verb is पूछना.
पूछना.
And then in the past.
पूछी.
Okay.
मैंने प्यार से पूछी.
Okay. So because it's ne is there, do you think this will be inflected? Do you think you will change this one based on this or something else? Because it's subject doesn't define it, right? So whether you say it, I say it, we will both say the same thing. So
मैंने प्यारी.
okay, so the change is only in this one. So पूछना is the verb in
पूछा.
the very good. So you will say मैंने.
प्यार से पूछा.
Okay. You will say the same thing. I will say the same thing. मैंने पूछा. I asked. Okay. मैंने पूछा. I will say the same thing. But when you said lovingly, मैंने प्यार से पूछा. Awesome. Great. Yeah. Nandini ji, I think you are raising your hand. Go for it.
From गर्व से can you say?
Yeah.
उसने गर्व से जवाब दिया.
Very good. Right. उसने. So this one clear, right? This one
Someone
clear.
asked a question, and so he said, if someone asked a question to a person and that person answered proudly, so that's what I meant.
Very
Whether
good.
it works, I don't know.
No, it's good. It's good. उसने.
उसने Garb se jawab diya.
जवाब दिया. Awesome, this is correct. उसने गर्व से जवाब दिया. Okay, this is correct. So उसने जवाब दिया is like to जवाब देना is to reply. Okay, if I can simplify it even smaller, उसने बोला. Okay, you can say this or you can also say वह गर्व से बोला. Both of them are correct. उसने गर्व से बोला and then you will say what the person said, or वह गर्व से बोला. He said, he said proudly. Okay, I hope both of them are clear to you because it requires some use of past indefinite. You need to know the verb. To ask is पूछना. To say is बोलना. But this is also used in past. So वह बोला. Okay, let me take a pause here because some people may have questions here. So feel free to ask. Like, this is important. This is again a pattern one where how you derive an adverb out of the abstract noun and put a postposition say next to it to give a notion of how something was said or done. All the cases, like you can say the manner in which the question or the I lovingly asked, like, the manner. Similarly here, the manner in which the person said, right? Any questions, anyone? Right, Ani, you have any thoughts? Good to have you. You want to share something?
No, I don't have any thoughts right now. You can continue.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we'll start with pattern number 2. I hope this is, so if anything, when you say, an abstract noun which say, at least recognize it's an adverb and remember at least these 4 or 5 commonly used ones. Okay, now we'll do pattern 2 about how to form adverbs. Okay, the second pattern that I have, it's basically what you're doing is you think about an adjective or a noun. Adjective or a noun, and then what you do is you use the and I'm going to take some time. You take the masculine singular form of that, either the adjectives or noun, and you use the oblique form of it. Okay, I'm going to give some examples to make sense of it. Okay, and those are called, that's how you derive the adverbs. Okay, so to give an example, it's straight. What is straight in Hindi? Like, anyone would
Seedha.
like Seedha, very good. Seedha. Okay, it also means simple. Simple. Okay, straight, simple. And if you want to say straight road, how do you say that in Hindi? Straight road.
CD.
What is road?
I don't remember. Sarak.
Okay. So if you want to say sadak, you can say Sidi sadak. That's correct. Okay. It's sadak is considered feminine, so it's Sidi sadak. There is another word for sadak called rasta. Okay, and there it's masculine, so it would be for masculine it would be Sida. Very good, right? Sida rasta. Both the cases, you see, this is, what is it? It is an adjective or an adverb? Adjective, right? Because it is describing the sadak or the rasta. Okay, how do you make an adverb out of it? Okay, you take, because you can see it's inflected. Seedha, seedhi, seedhe, seedhe pair, straight trees. right? Long trees, right? They are not curved. Okay. How do you make an adverb out of it? You take the masculine singular form. What is the masculine singular form? Which is seedha. Okay. And then how do you make an oblique case of it? What is the oblique case of seedha?
Seedhe.
Very good. The oblique case of seedha is seedhe. Okay. So, and if anybody is worried about how do you make it, it's just like ladka. The oblique case of singular ladka is
लड़के
very good. The oblique of acha is
अच्छे
very good. Okay. Similarly, you took a simple adjective, seedha. Okay. You can test it out that seedha can be inflected. You can say seedha rasta, seedha ped. Okay. Seedhe ped if you're talking about multiple trees. Okay. Seedhi sadak. But you are right now worried about how to form an adverb. So you took the masculine singular form, which is seedha, and you made an oblique case of it, seedhe. Okay. And let's say, so seedhe is basically your one of the adverb. Okay. I can erase it, I hope. Now, if I were to say to anyone, let's say I want to use an imperative sentence. Okay. And I say, like if I am giving them a direction, okay, and if I were to say सीधे जाओ, I'm using the verb jana in the imperative form here. Okay, सीधे जाओ, like, you know, what am I telling them?
Go straight.
Yes, go straight ahead. Straight ahead. Straight ahead. Go straight ahead. So let's say you go to a medical shop and you ask them like, sir, मुझे railway station जाना है, and they'll tell you like if it is close by, सीधे जाओ. That means go straight ahead. Okay. In that case, you know, the सीधे जाओ is really describing you like the where part of it. It's describing the where, and it is used as an adverb. Okay, you see the difference? The first सीधा is basically adjective. When you say सीधे जाओ, it's basically modifying the verb here, the underlying verb here. So it is used as an adverb. I hope it is clear. Okay, सीधे जाओ. Okay, and that's basically your adverb here, सीधे जाओ. Okay. Similarly, if I were to say, if I have to tell someone, if somebody is very ambiguous, if I'm telling them talk straight, like if I want to get to a topic, but I'm like, you know, beating around the bush, I'm not coming to the point. I don't want you to give you the answer. I want everyone to write it down. Okay. So everyone, it's a small exercise, talk straight. Okay. A pattern is very simple. Instead of, you have to just look at the verb. What is the verb here? And I want you to, okay, write it down, everyone. You can use imperative. Talk straight. And let's see how our friends are doing on Facebook. Good to have everyone. Leah ji, Barbara ji, Guido, Ilan ji, Tarja, Tara ji, Dev, Swani ji. Okay, let's see how you guys are doing. And okay, very good. So I think all of you guessed it right. It's basically talk straight. How do you say JD? Talk straight would be
सीधे बोलो.
very good. सीधे बोलो. सीधे बोलो क्या बात है? Like, you know, just be upfront about what is the thing that you're talking about. सीधे बोलो क्या बात है? Right? So there also it is an adverb. Okay. Now let's see some more. How are we doing with time? I think it's fine. I'm going to give some more example. I'm erasing it.
Ashu Ji, I did Side Baat Karo. Is that?
It's correct. That's correct. Seedhe baat karo. It's correct. There are just variation of it, but you got the point. Seedhe baat karo. Okay. I'm going to give some more examples. So you have pehla. What is pehla?
First.
First. Very good. Okay. If I want to say first boy would be
पहला लड़का.
pehla.
Pehle.
पहले लड़की. लड़का.
Pehla ladka. If it is first girl would be
पहली लड़की.
okay. Pehli ladki. So it's, you can tell pehla, it's adjective. Try to make the, what is the masculine singular form of this? Pehla, pehli, pehle.
Pehla pyar.
Okay, very good. Okay, pehla pyar. First love.
पहले लड़कों को
Okay, so the masculine singular form is pehla. Make an oblique case of it.
पहले लड़के.
Very good, pehle. Okay, so this is your, it can be used as an adverb. Again, there was an adjective. We tested out, it's an adjective. We took the masculine singular form of it. We made an oblique case of that, pehle. Okay, now let's say you want to say at first I visited, let's say Budapest. And then I went to this country and then I did this thing. Okay. In that case, you can use, this is an adverb and you will say pehle मैं Budapest गई. I went to Budapest. फिर मैं, I went to Japan. Right? मैं Japan गई. Okay. बाद में, and then I went to Singapore. फिर मैं Singapore गई. Okay. So in all those cases, so if I were to write down this example, पहले first मैं जापान गया और गई. First I went to Japan. This पहले, it's an adverb. Okay. Now this पहले, grammatically it's different, as you can tell, than पहला लड़का, पहली लड़की, or पहला प्यार. Because there you are describing the quality, right? First, first boy, first girl, first love, versus at first, पहले मुझे वो पसंद आया. At first I liked him, or पहले वो मुझे पसंद आई. At first I liked, her, right? So subtle difference here, like how these are being used. Questions, anyone, or reflection? Yeah.
How do you know when to use pattern 1 and pattern 2?
How do you know the pattern 1, when to use pattern 1 and pattern 2? That's a good question. I mean, there is no easy way, honestly speaking. Like, it's basically, in my mind, when I'm describing a manner in which certain things are done, okay, I have to pick it from either the adverb in itself, like such as immediately, or the other one that I mentioned, like which is pattern 1, immediately or approximately, right? Or the manner, like with difficulty, smilingly, lovingly. I am by default going to pattern number 1. I have to use a abstract noun and put say next to it. Okay. So that's how if I am describing a manner, I'm going to pattern number 1. For pattern 2 it's a miscellaneous bucket. So that's what make it hard. Okay. It's very hard to know when do I use pattern 2. In my mind, it's less to do about when to use it, but it's really about how are adverbs formed. It's more to do with that. Right? So as long as you can understand that, like, in your mind that, because as you grow in your Hindi learning journey, right? I mean, just like sometimes it can confuse, like it was an adjective, you said it, now it's used as an adverb. But that is the case, like, a word can be used in many different ways. Like very can be an adjective, very can be an adverb. Like, her very eyes, right? I mean, it's there, you are using it as an adjective versus very difficult question, it's an adverb, like just like in English, right? So in summary, I would say right now, just recognize it, the pattern. How are you forming adverb? When it is a manner, you are using pattern number 1. For pattern 2, there is no straight answer there. Okay. Any questions on this one anymore? Okay, so I'm going to erase it. I'm going to give 2 as an homework.
Before you go,
Yeah.
if you're using pehla, like a word after pehla, like say a word that would be feminine would be pehle.
पहली, right? पहली पंक्ति, first row. पहली रो में 5 बच्चे बैठे हैं. दूसरी रो में, right? So again, like, पहली, I'm saying like पहली row, because row is feminine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
पहला मकान, okay, पहला मकान लाल कलर का है. पहली कार पीले कलर की है. You see, पहले पेड़ का रंग भूरा है. Okay, I'm using पहले, there is because of postposition, पहला पेड़ becomes, पहले पेड़ का रंग भूरे कलर का है. But again, like adjective change into an adverb. Okay, I hope it's making sense. It's a hard topic, but in the pattern number 2, I'm going to give 2 as a homework exercise, which is basically samna. It's basically samne, in front. Okay, and then rear, which is basically, anyone, opposite of samne?
Piche.
Very good. Okay, so I want you guys to make at least 2 sentences for each. Okay, there's a famous song, right? Which one is it? Vidya ji would know. She is good with.
सामने वाले, I don't know many songs.
Yeah. There you go. See, I didn't have to say anything, right? Okay, so I'm gonna write it, right? Mere.
Sunil Dutt
Yes, that's right. Mere.
and Kishore Kumar.
Yes, मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की. खिड़की is window. Okay, and what?
आमने सामने
Very good.
मिथुन चक्रवर्ती.
Yes, very good, right? So what is, again, to मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की. खिड़की is window, but what is मेरे सामने वाली?
The window in front.
Yeah, the window in front of me, right? मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की. Okay, I hope that makes sense. But I'm not gonna dig deeper. I'm gonna ask you guys to at least make some sentences for सामने and पीछे. Okay, in both the cases you can see that पीछा is the word which is, you took the oblique case and you made an adverb out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna, yeah.
Just a little, that volley at the end is like, like you would say, Delhi Log Vala.
That's right. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but
so
in
this
this,
is like the Mary in front of me. That like the thing in front of the volley is just kind of being that the thing in front of me emphasis or something.
so like, yeah, doodh wala is basically, it's a milkman, right? In which the doodh is basically changed into doodh wala. In this case, samna, samne wali. So you took the adverb and you put wali next to it. Samne wali khidki. You see that? So it's you can put wala, wali next to different parts of speech. Okay, so
And that adds to it. What does it give to it in that sense? Because I can see with like Dudvala, it actually makes it
Yeah.
a milkman, but what
Yeah.
does it do to that?
yeah, so let's say, what do you think? What is the emphasis on this one? let's say that the person has two khidkis in the house, two windows, one in the front, one in the back. And by saying, mere samne wali khidki.
The one,
That's right, the one in the
window, the one in front. If I say that window and then the one in front.
the one in the
One,
front.
that's what it means.
That's
And
right.
if you just take the vali off, though, doesn't it get the same thing across? Mere samne kirki. What is that add?
It's distinguishing between, if there are many things, you're pointing to a particular thing. I think that's how I understand. Is that right?
So if I were to say, mere samne khidki hai. Okay, what does it mean?
My
मेरे सामने
In front of my window?
no मेरे सामने खिड़की है मेरे
There
सामने
is a window in
Oh, I mean, oh.
In front of me, there is a window.
that's right in front of me there is a window मेरे सामने शेर है
because it's directional, right? Okay.
मेरे
that's right.
मेरे सामने शेर है मेरे सामने bear है मेरे like there is a lion or tiger in front of me or there is
Okay, in front of me there is a window, so then it's taking the okay. Keep going, Ashu Ji. I think I see where you're going.
right
here.
so मेरे सामने खिड़की है मेरे सामने वाली okay खिड़की में so this one is clear, right? There is a window in front of me. मेरे सामने खिड़की है. Now मेरे सामने वाली खिड़की, even if you remove this one, सामने वाली खिड़की में, and then you can say something. मैं,
एक चांद का टुकड़ा है.
yeah. So that's a song, but I'm trying to make a simple sentence, right? सामने वाली खिड़की में,
I think wali is stating that someone is in front of him. इसलिए he's using wali in the context of the song, है ना?
वापस बोलो.
I said he's saying wali because of the song. मेरे सामने वाली एक खिड़की में
Yes.
एक चांद का टुकड़ा. He's stating
Yes.
that someone like a lady is standing there.
Yes.
That looks like the moon.
That's
The
right.
context of the song.
Yes, that's right. But I think her question is like, what is it describing? It's describing the khidki that is in front of the house. Samne wali khidki versus.
Can I just say सामने वाली खिड़की खुली है?
That's right. You can say
It's
that.
not even the main.
That's right.
It just says it's the back window is closed, the front window is open.
I think this is a much better example. So सामने वाली खिड़की खुली है. How about that, Kelly ji? Does it help? One is खिड़की खुली
I
है.
just like when Nandini, when you just gave that example again, I'm like, why can't you just do samne kirki kuli hai?
I think there are two windows.
Okay.
There are 10 windows, but
Yeah.
the सामने वाली खिड़की is खुली है.
Yes.
The rest of the खिड़कीs are closed.
That's
maybe it's just adding that extra bit to
So
that.
either
It's
you-
pointing to that particular one. That's what it means.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. So it's that particular one. Okay.
That's right. So it's like the red color one. Like when you say lal wali car, there you are
Oh,
going with
okay,
the
got
one
it.
with red, right? So that's basically the red one. You are emphasizing on the adjectives. Here you are emphasizing on the adverbs. Samne wali, right? The one in the
got
front. Yeah. Awesome. So we'll go quickly towards pattern number 3, 4, and then we'll do the listening part. Okay. So pattern number 3 is rather straightforward, which is basically, should I do it next time? Because I want to focus on the listening, and listening is going to take some time. So how about that? Next class we do pattern number 3 and 4, and then we do kahin and kabhi. Those are the two important adverbs as well. Okay, so I'm going to do pattern number 3, pattern number 4 next class. And now we'll focus on the listening part. Okay, for those of you who are completely new, you can go to this page tiny.cc/Hindi University, and we have like a small Hindi story. I don't want you to right now open it up because I've written the text there. I want you to listen to when I'm saying it, because the focus is listening. Like if you have the text in front of you, it'll be a cheating. Right? So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read the first part very quickly because those part you already heard it. Okay, but just to set the context. रॉन एक मछुआरा था, वह रोज नदी के किनारे जाता था और मछलियां पकड़ता था. ओके, वी हैव रेड दिस पार्ट बिफोर. रोज लगभग 40 मछलियां बेचकर अपना परिवार चलाता था. हमेशा अपने बच्चों के लिए कुछ खरीदता था, कभी खिलौने, कभी कपड़े, तो कभी बच्चों के मनपसंद की गोलियां. रॉन अपना जीवन सादगी से जीता था. रॉन खुश रहता था, हमेशा खुश रहता था. एक दिन बहुत बारिश हो रही थी, बादल गरज रहे थे और बिजलियां कड़क रही थी और जोर से हवा भी चल रही थी. तभी सारे शहर की बिजली चली गई. रॉन का छोटा बच्चा जो 5 साल का है रॉन के पास आया और बोला, पापा मुझे डर लग रहा है. रॉन बोला, तू बिल्कुल डर मत, पापा है ना यहाँ. Okay, I read it very fast. That's how you will encounter when Hindi speakers are saying it, right? But when we learned it in the previous class, we read it very slowly. So far we have covered this. Now for this class, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it twice so you guys can hear it. रॉन ने प्यार से अपने बच्चों को गले लगाया. रॉन ने प्यार से अपने बच्चों को गले लगाया और धीरे से लोरी सुनाने लगा. ओके, और धीरे से लोरी सुनाने लगा. रॉन ने प्यार से अपने बच्चों को गले लगाया और धीरे से लोरी सुनाने लगा. Okay, if you don't understand some words, you can just make a note of it in your mind or in your notepad. Okay, which one doesn't make sense. थोड़ी देर में रॉन के बच्चे सो गए. थोड़ी देर में रॉन के बच्चे सो गए. रॉन सावधानी से उठा. रॉन सावधानी से उठा और उसने सामने और पीछे वाले कमरे में दिया जलाया. रॉन सावधानी से उठा और उसने सामने और पीछे वाले कमरे में दिया जलाया. रॉन की बड़ी बेटी भी रॉन की मदद कर रही थी. रॉन की बड़ी बेटी भी रॉन की मदद कर रही थी. रॉन रात भर जागता रहा. रॉन रात भर, this we have not done it because this is pattern number 3 and 4. रॉन रात भर जागता रहा और बारिश के रुकने का इंतजार करता रहा. रॉन रात भर जागता रहा और बारिश के रुकने का इंतजार करता रहा. I'm going to read the whole part again, okay? रॉन ने प्यार से अपने बच्चों को गले लगाया और धीरे से लोरी सुनाने लगा. थोड़ी देर में रॉन के बच्चे सो गए. रॉन सावधानी से उठा और उसने सामने और पीछे वाले कमरे में दिया जलाया. रॉन की बड़ी बेटी भी रॉन की मदद कर रही थी. रॉन रात भर जागता रहा और बारिश के रुकने का इंतजार करता रहा. Okay, so for folks who are watching live on Facebook, homework exercise for you. Whatever I said, you can go back and you can hear it multiple times. That's completely fine. But the key is that you have to try to make sense of the thing in entirety. You don't have to know every single word, but at least try to make sense of what's happening in the story. You can come back to the same video and post it on that, and then I'll help you with that. So I'm going to stop the broadcast and I'll open it up for discussion for the friends that we have in the Zoom. Okay, so I'm going to